Okay, let's get back to it. Uh, it's, here we go. Well, I say that. Sorry. Gotta get back to Zoom. All right, now we're back. Sharing all the options selected. Here we go.
And I'm going to be working with Jay.
Hi, my name is June, Jay, just the letter read, and I'm a rec specialist, athlete, and coach.
As with any exercise duration, we're going to start with a warm-up. And remember, the purpose of the warm-up isn't to create fatigue. We don't want to be tired as a result of the warm-up. We just want to use the warm-up to help us transition from rest into more intense physical activity. So, I'm going to use a timer. We're going to go through 3 movements, and we'll do 2 rounds of each of the 3 movements for 1 minute each. So here we go with the first movement. We're just hinging forward from our hips and then straightening back up. You don't have to move at the same pace that we're moving at. We'll probably move at different rates as we go through this. Another variation here could be taking that range of motion to the floor. If you want to extend it some. Another variation could be raising arms overhead. About 10 more seconds, we'll transition to the second movement, which will be a side-to-side rocking motion. Here we go. We'll lean to one side and extend arm and hand up as high as we can, turning to look at that hand, if that's a possibility for you. Another variation of this could be extending the same leg as you reach up. Another variation could be taking one hand to the floor as you extend that leg. In about 5 seconds, we'll start the third movement. This is going to be a twisting motion. We'll take one leg up and out to the side, turn and reach across our body. We'll come back to center, take the other leg out, turn and reach. You can do this with just the lower body. You can do it with just the upper body. All depends on what range of motion is most comfortable for you. Just trying to turn your torso to face the direction of the moving leg. It could be strictly upper body. It could be upper and lower. In about 10 seconds, I'm going to show you some standing variations of these same 3 movements. June will continue with the seated variations. We'll go back to that first upward movement. In a standing position, you're going to get into a slight squat, remembering to always keep your shoulders higher than your hips. To extend that range of motion, you could squat down closer toward the floor. Try and think about pushing your knees away from each other as you come up. Another variation of this could be coming into an overhead reach at the top of the motion. Always trying to stay aware of keeping shoulders higher than hips. We'll transition to that rocking motion. In a standing position, you can just shift your weight from side to side, extending one arm upward. A variation of this could be reaching up and across your body while you rock from side to side. If an upward reach is a different challenge level than you want, it could also be downward reach as you rock from side to side. We're going to transition to the twisting motion. In standing position, you could take one leg out and then come back in, trying to turn your chest to face the direction that your outward move is traveling. You can keep your arms close into your body. That can help with some balance. A variation here can be when you step out, reach across your body. Can include both upper and lower body movement, or strictly upper or lower body movement. We're closing in on the end of the warm-up, and we'll transition into the muscle strength and stability workout now. So we're going to start this with an exercise or two exercises for our core. Jay and I are going to be using these resistance strips or resistance bands. These are pretty readily available through a lot of different platforms, and we have them here at NICPAD as an inclusion with some of our programs. The first exercise we're going to do for our core, we'll place the resistance strip under our feet. We'll bring them across the front of our legs. We'll hold them. You can also wrap these around if that gives you a more stable grip. So the first thing we're going to do is extend our arms as far away from our body as possible. We're going to try to trace some letters from the alphabet without letting our torso come forward or backward. So we'll start with A, B, C. You can keep going. We're going to try to do about 10 letters. Some things to think about here, trying to keep shoulders down, away from our ears, trying to avoid leaning forward or backward, and trying to avoid any sort of rotation at our midsection. Okay, we'll rest for a second. Now we're going to transition into a rotational exercise for our core. The way we'll accomplish this is I'm going to interlace my fingers. You can keep them separate, whatever works best for you. We're going to start by bringing those bands to one side, low on our body, and then we'll transition to pulling them up high onto the opposing side. So we're going side to side from low to high. We'll do this for 10 repetitions. Again, trying to keep your arms extended as far away from your body as possible. If you can, think about your belly button following exactly where your hands are going, or your belly button following your wrists. We'll do one more. Great. I hope that was 10. I'm horrible at counting.
Oh, I wasn't counting.
We'll have to keep each other accountable for the counting. So we're going to go back to that first exercise, the letter tracing. Are you feeling this in your core when you do it?
Definitely feeling it in my core. It's making me keep my back straight, keep my arms extended out so I don't bend over like that.
Yeah.
So I'm engaging my core definitely.
That's perfect. So all those points that you just brought up, those are points that are directly in line with what we're trying to accomplish with this exercise. So let's start that again. We're going to bring the bands up, away from our body. You can trace the letters of your name, first and last name. For some of us, that'll be more. For some of us, that'll be less.
For me, it's just the letter J, and I'm done now.
Jay's got the advantage over the rest of us. You're going to try to get roughly 10 different letter shapes in this movement. Again, trying to focus on keeping your shoulders down away from your ears and trying to avoid any movement anywhere in your body except from your shoulder to your wrist. Great. We'll switch to that rotational movement again. This time we'll go the opposite direction. So I'm going to start low on my right side and twist to a higher position on my left. One of the nice things about using these resistance straps is that the amount of resistance you're working against and trying to overcome changes as you move through different ranges of motion.
I was able to change the resistance on this one just by making it tighter at my feet and giving me more cord or stretchy material here. And if I kind of separate my feet wider and shorten these bands, I can use the same band, but I also get more resistance warming up. So I feel like if this is too much, I can just kind of make the cord or the material longer and I get less resistance to make that, starting a little bit easier.
Absolutely. That's a great point to make. And that's valuable, especially in terms of it cutting down on transition between exercises. The ability, like June was just pointing out, bring your feet closer or farther apart, or you can wrap them around your hands if you want more resistance, if you want less, and also where you grip the strap can make a difference. Meaning if you choke down on it or grab it farther toward the end. So let's do a third set of each of those exercises. I'm going to do this set in a standing position just to show you some variation. So here we go. Arms extended away from the body. I'm trying to trace different letters of the alphabet. Since we're trying to stay in a 10 repetition range, roughly 10 letters. Again, for a lot of us, that can be tracing our names to accomplish those repetitions. Just trying to avoid hiking our shoulders up close to our ears and trying to avoid any movement anywhere in our body other than from the shoulder to the wrist. And then we'll finish with that rotational movement. I'm going to go side to side this time. So I'll start low on my left and end high on my right. Then I'll drop low on my right and end high on my left. Good. 2 more reps. All right, let's transition into a couple of exercises. We're going to try to do these in a superset style where we'll perform an exercise for an upper body muscle group and follow it immediately with an exercise for a lower body muscle group. We're going to try to stick with that 10 repetition range. One of the important things that will really make greater improvements in muscle strength is choosing the appropriate band for you. Different color bands have different amounts of resistance. Optimally, for each exercise, you want to use a band that allows you to get 10 repetitions, no more than 15 repetitions, but about 10 repetitions before you reach a point of having to stop doing that exercise in that set. From there, you want to rest about a minute, 30 seconds to a minute, and then perform your next set.
One thing about these bands that I do like, actually a couple things. They're color-coded, right? It has written down, like this yellow one is extra light, but then they also have
I'm going to fast forward us through this. It's just us talking about ways to distinguish the amount of resistance on the bands. You've heard this from me already. Here we go. Underneath the seat of your chair. And you can also do these in a standing position. I'll show you different variations across the 3 sets. The first exercise that we're going to do is going to be a lateral raise. It's an exercise for the shoulder. The function of a number of the muscles of our shoulder is to lift our arm up and away from our body. So that's what we're going to try to mimic with this first exercise. We're going to try to raise arms upward and out, away from our body. Trying to keep straight arms. And another important thing to think about here is trying to move at the same pace upward and downward. Try to really isolate the muscles of your shoulder that function to raise your arm up and away from your body. Good. You can go just to about shoulder height, maybe ear height. No need to go higher than that. And then we'll couple this exercise with something for our hips and lower back. The way we're going to accomplish that is we'll bring the straps across the front side of our ankle. We'll cross them over, anchor our hands at our shoulders. We'll lean forward and then sit back up into a tall position. So something to think about here is not leaning so far forward that you lose tension in the band. You want there to be tension throughout the movement. So you can think about the idea of trying to bring your elbows between your knees and then sitting back up as tall as possible. All right. So let's go back to lateral raises, the shoulder exercise. I'll do these in a standing variation. Another option here can be one arm at a time. Doesn't have to be both arms together. If you've got one side of your body that's a little less cooperative to movement than the other, this can be a great variation because it can allow you to really focus on using the muscles of your shoulder on that side of your body and not bringing assisting muscle groups into the exercise. Same idea, trying to accomplish 10 repetitions total. And then we can switch back to that exercise for our hips and our lower back. So we'll bring the bands across the front side of our legs, arms up to chest height. I'm going to try to keep straight legs as I lean forward and then focus on trying to move from my hips in effort to drive my hips up and forward.
This reminds me of that warm-up that we did where I'm having to really focus on keeping my back straight, you know, because I feel like if I round my back over, eventually I'm just going to experience more pain in my back. And so this is really kind of making me focus on keeping my back straight like I did during the warm-ups.
Yeah, that's a great point. And that's, again, what Jay is saying really dials in the idea of the muscles that we're trying to isolate with this exercise. Okay, one more set of lateral raises. This will be the third set. I'll show you another variation you can use. For some of us, elevating up and outward can cause some shoulder pain. Another option here is up and forward. Some slightly different muscle involvement, but still the same idea of the muscles of our shoulder functioning to raise our arms upward and away from our body. Trying to keep straight arms as much as possible throughout the movement.
Can I do this one arm, like single?
Yeah, absolutely. That's another great adaptation. That's another thing that's really nice about the bands is it allows us to switch pretty easily between doing single limb exercises and dual limb exercises. And then for the last time, the last set, we'll swap back to that back extension. And this doesn't have to be a huge range of motion.
For me, I'm going as soon as my elbow hits my thighs, just so I can keep my back straight. That's when I start leaning, when I go back up, because I feel if I go past my knees or my thigh, I feel like my back's not going to be straight anymore. And so at least I'm trying to really focus on keeping my back straight and keeping that posture right.
Yeah.
So as soon as I hit my thigh, I'm going straight back up.
All right. So the next pair of exercises we'll do, we'll combine a movement that will work the muscles of our chest with a movement that'll work our lower body. Most of the muscles in our lower body. The exercise for our chest is going to involve us stepping on the band or anchoring it under our chair. Again, we'll keep straight arms, extended away from our body as much as possible. And trying to keep our palms turned up, we're going to try to raise our hands up to about chin level and push them together. So the muscles of our chest function to elevate our arm and pull it across our body. So that's the movement that we're trying to mimic here, upward and across our body. This can be done one arm at a time also. Doesn't have to be both together. The main idea is trying to keep the palms up and arms as straight as possible, raising them up and away to about chin level. Now we'll combine this with a lower body exercise. June's going to do a seated version of this using a single leg. I'll do a standing variation with both legs. So here, I'm going to roll the bands around my hands to shorten it and increase the amount of resistance. I'll drop into a squat and come back up into an extended hip position. This is similar to a deadlift in the standing position. June's accomplishing a similar thing with a single leg variation.
This reminds me of like a leg press.
Yeah,
You know,
same
only
idea.
only instead of lying on my back, I'm sitting straight up and pushing my heel, or I guess the foot and my heel towards the ground versus straight out.
Yeah, exactly the same idea. Similar muscle groups. All right, we'll transition back to the chest exercise. And again, so here you'll see both of us unwrapping the band a little bit. That's another really great advantage of using these, is that you can vary the amount of resistance you're getting as you go through the workout, even using just one band. Thinking about the function of those muscles, trying to raise our arms up and pull them across our body. It could be done one arm at a time or both together. And then we'll transition back to the lower body. So I'll wrap the bands around my hands. And the variation that June is doing, you could do that with both legs. If you wanted to slide back in your chair.
I'm going to choose to do one leg only. If you couldn't tell, I'm missing my other leg, so I don't quite have that muscle group to extend out fully. So I'm just going to choose to do this one leg only.
You can bring these bands across the front of your body also. They don't have to be at the side. Another option could be raising them up across the front and performing that squatting motion with the resistance on the front side of your body. We'll go back to the last set of chest. Vary your grip, depending on how much tension you want. We'll try to raise arms up and across the midline of our body, bringing hands together right about chin height. If possible, try to keep your palm facing upward. That'll help to get a little more chest involvement into the motion.
Well, that's a little different. That's a little different.
Feel it more in your chest that way?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Couple more reps. All right. So I'll show that dual leg seated version that we were just talking about. This will be a much shorter range of motion. I'm sliding back to use the back of the chair as some bracing. I'm going to try to bend and then extend my legs. So this may be hard to see on the camera, that it's a very slight bend at my knees and then driving my heels forward and up. But it's really forcing me to engage the muscles of my hips and my rear end to keep my body stable as I go through the motions. Excellent. I'm going to wipe the sweat off my head. Even though these are seated, they're not easy, or it's not easy for me. I don't know about you. Maybe I'm just weak and old.
I might need a stronger resistance band, but
You know,
getting a good
this?
workout. No, I think I'm good with the yellow. I think I like the yellow.
Yep. I'm friends with the yellow.
Right?
For sure. All right, so the next two exercises, we're gonna combine an exercise for the muscles of our back with another exercise for the muscles of our hips and our thigh. The exercise for our back is gonna be some variation of a rowing motion. I'm gonna show you 3 different variations. The first one is gonna have us in extended leg position, the band under our feet. We're gonna try to lean forward just a bit. We're gonna pull our elbows back behind our body and try to turn our palms up at the top. The reason we're turning our palms up at the top is because one of the functions of some of the muscle groups in our back is to supinate our hand or turn our hand upward. So we can get this combined motion to hopefully activate more of the muscles on the backside of our upper body by pulling our elbows behind our body and turning our palms upward at the top of the motion. As with all these other exercises we've been looking at, you can do these one arm at a time. Another variation could be keeping one arm in as the other goes through that range of motion. That can give you some isometric contraction in that side of the muscle groups. We'll combine this with an exercise for the outside of our thigh and our hip. This is going to be, it's called abduction. You can think of abduction as taking something away from yourself. So I'm going to cross the bands over the top of my ankles. I'm going to hold them in place there. Options here are one leg at a time, traveling outward, or you can use the seat to brace yourself and take both out at the same time. I'll do this variation. June will do the single leg variation.
I do feel it on the outside of my hip, though.
Yeah. That's perfect. That's where we want it. Something to think about here, trying to keep the heel off the ground if possible. and toes pointed straight ahead or upward. All right, we'll go back to that movement for our back. So we started with this rowing motion. If anchoring the bands under your feet isn't an option, you can go over that one, Jay, and I'm going to show a different version. Another variation can be if you extend one arm and then pull that band down and behind your hip on that side. Same idea, trying to pull down and turn your palm upward at the bottom of the movement. I'll do 5 on this side, 5 on the other.
Now let me ask you, when I'm doing these alternating arms, am I waiting till I come back to start the other arm, or should I go at the same time like this?
I'd say wait.
Wait.
Yeah, try to keep that one side contracted as long as possible, and then, yeah, that's it. Because then you get that isometric contraction.
That's what you're saying earlier.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll go back to the hip movement. I'll show you a standing variation of this, where obviously I'll use one leg to take that band outward, away from my body. Here again, trying to think about keeping the toe pointed as directly ahead as possible. These single leg variations are great because it really forces the non-moving side to function in stabilizing. While the opposite side drives the movement. I'm going to stay standing for a variation of the back exercise again, the rowing motion. So June will continue with the variation he was doing. I'm going to lean forward slightly, try to pull my elbows up and behind me, turning my palm out. So really stretching arms all the way at the bottom, and then trying to focus on using the muscles of my back to pull my arms into my body, elbows behind me, and turn my palm up. And then we'll finish with the third set of abduction. I'll do the seated version again, both legs. Again, not a huge range of motion. Doesn't have to be. Trying to keep the heel off the floor. Push feet or pull feet out and away as far as possible. Excellent. So let's finish the lower body portion of the workout, and then we'll finish the upper body portion. The next exercise we're going to do is going to be a leg extension. So it's going to focus on the muscles on the top of our thigh. Those muscles function to extend our leg from the knee and take our foot outward away from our body. To accomplish this in a seated position, I'm going to encourage everyone to wrap the band around the top of your foot, and then take both sides under again. This will just give you a really secure attachment for the band to your foot. From there, I'm going to take that band and anchor it. I'm going to anchor my arm against my body, try to keep my inside of my arm against my ribs. We'll extend that leg and let it come back. Trying to focus on really isolating the muscles at the top of your thigh to drive the band that's wrapped around your foot forward, up, and away from the rest of your body.
This is something similar to the machine in the gym where it's the leg extension, right?
Yep, yeah, exactly. Same movement, same muscle groups. We'll do 10 repetitions. And then we'll rest for a moment. So you can repeat this on the other leg. We're going to stick with the same leg. I'll swap over to the opposing leg just for some variation.
Is there a way to do it with both legs at the same time? Or is it better?
Not
to do
that I
it
know
one?
of. Yeah, I don't know of a way to do it with both legs at the same time. But I'm not
I can see
creative
maybe
enough to come up with that.
putting under our feet, but then I would be afraid of it slipping off the foot when you extend out and
Yeah.
snapping. So
Yeah,
I
and
get
having
the-
to really wrap it
right.
over the foot is that limits the motion or the possibilities to a degree.
More of like a safety thing.
Yeah, just because it will break loose. I'm going to show you a standing version of this. June will continue with the seated version. The standing version, I'll use a chair as an assistive device. You're going to hold the band back at your hip. Try to keep your knees in line with each other and extend that leg downward, trying to think about forcing the heel into the floor. This is another good opportunity to get some stabilizing muscle stimulation in the non-moving leg, because you're having to use that leg and hip as a stabilizer while the other leg moves.
Am I trying to keep my shoe off the ground, or am I hitting the ground every time I come back?
If you can, I'd say keep your shoe off
Keep
the
your
ground.
shoe off the ground?
Yeah. And use that other leg as, like we were talking about, a stabilizer, really trying to drive that heel into the floor and engage the muscles of the hip so that your body's not rocking side to side since only one leg's moving.
I did find if I scooted back into the chair and kind of rested my back on it, it helped me stabilize a little bit more, and then having my hands on the chair itself too to
Yeah.
really focus on just my leg moving and not my upper body.
Right,
and
trying to
going
balance
back
at
and
the same
forth
time.
and trying to fight my balance while I'm trying to do the exercise.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we'll rest about 30 seconds and we'll finish the third set of this exercise. Again, I'm going to take you forward to the exercise for the back side of the leg, like I was just showing you standing. Just explored with the quads. Here, I'm going to bring the band around my ankle to start with. I'll take the front side across the front of my ankle and the remainder of it under the opposing foot. So we'll be working from this position. We're going to try to pull the leg that has the band around our ankle back and under our body as far as we can. You can place your heel on the floor. You may feel the hamstring activate a little bit more effectively that way because there'll be a little bit more friction between your heel and the floor. The main idea is thinking about the muscles on the backside of your thigh, pulling your heel back and under your body as far as possible. We'll rest a moment. I'll swap over to the opposing leg just to show the process of wrapping it again. June will continue with the same side leg. So I'm going to take it around the back side of my ankle, cross over the front. Both ends then travel under the opposing foot. Try to straighten my legs and pull that heel back and under my body. Are you feeling that in the back side of your thigh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Underneath.
Yep. Yeah.
Was it the hamstrings, right? You said?
Yep.
Yeah, I can definitely feel it there. And it really helps me if I try to, like you said, pull my heel underneath my body there or underneath the chair in a sense and try to go as far back as I can.
Yeah.
And it really kind of hits that hamstring right there.
Almost like trying to bring your foot so far underneath you that your toe touches the floor at the back point of the motion. All right. Rest about 30 seconds.
All right, I'm going to move
The
this
third
forward
set.
to finish the upper body. This will be the last two exercises for the workout. These are upper body exercises. We won't do all three sets, but I want to introduce you to these because we will hit all three of these next week. I'm sorry, next session. Here we go.
It really helps keep my back straight and focus on
Activating
the leg
those muscle
movement.
groups.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Okay. So we're going to finish with 2 arm exercises. We're going to do an exercise or 3 sets of an exercise for the muscles on the back side of the top of our arm, triceps. The function of those muscles is to extend our arm from the elbow. I'll show you a couple of different variations for this. The first one that we're going to do is going to involve placing the band in your hand against the opposing side shoulder. Really think about trying to pull that arm down into your rib cage. So this is good because it's going to make you activate the muscles of your back to keep your arm pinned against your body. And then
Almost if like I was saying the Pledge of Allegiance, like
yeah,
on the chest and the elbow.
yeah, exactly.
in versus out.
Yeah, absolutely. And plus, it'll keep you, it'll keep your shoulder safe. So then we'll grab the free side of the band with the hand that's going to be moving. I'm going to pin that arm into my ribs also, so that I've got kind of a 90-degree angle at the elbow. We're going to push that hand down to lock the elbow at the bottom of the motion. If you can, think about your knuckles facing the floor at the end of this. You really want to think about making a fist throughout the whole movement, and try to avoid your elbow creeping away from your body. Really try to keep your arm, the inside of your arm and your elbow pinned against your body as you do this. So that's 10. And we'll swap to the other side. Same idea. We're going to anchor that hand on the opposing side of our chest or shoulder. Set both elbows locked into our body. Think about pointing knuckles down at the bottom of the movement. So here, if you're doing both sides of the body separately, there's no breaks between sets. You're going to swap over immediately. That's going to help because it's going to keep the intensity of your workout a little bit higher, and it's also going to keep the time frame a little bit shorter. This movement doesn't.
I'm going to take us to the biceps now. Final movement.
So we're going to accomplish this, anchoring the band again, either under feet. You could also anchor it under your thighs or under your chair. If you were doing that, you're probably going to want to choke down on the band, roll it around your hands a few times to get the amount of resistance set to where you can feel it, activating the muscle. So something to think about here, really trying to make a fist, trying to keep that fist, pin both arms or pin whichever arm is moving, pin them into your body. You want to keep your palms up as much as possible, almost like you're trying to bring your pinky and ring finger up first. That'll help to really isolate your biceps, as well as trying to avoid letting your elbow creep away from your body. Don't let your arm creep away from your body. We'll rest a moment. Another variation for these can be keeping one arm bent all the time while the other arm moves. That's going to bring that isometric contraction into it a little bit more. So that would have this as our starting position. We could keep one arm up and tight as the other side curls. Again, focus on trying to keep the shoulders down away from the body or from the ears, arm pinned into the body. Only moving from the elbow to the wrist and trying to keep the ring finger and the pinky finger up as much as possible. Try to keep that side of your hand higher than your thumb. All right, we'll rest a moment.
Okay, so a little bit of jumping around, but I just wanted to make sure